live.
Hey everybody, it's Johnny Mo. How are you? Super excited to be here live with you all once again. And when I saw the topic of this webinar and who I was going to be talking with, I jumped at the opportunity because it's everything that I believe in. And I'm going to introduce somebody that's pretty awesome, that's running a pretty awesome business, that is doing the same mindset-y kind of things that I yell and preach and talk about, and that, matter of fact, everybody talks about these days. Right now, I want to introduce on this segment of Small Market, Big Mindset, Renee Mueller. Renee, welcome.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, this is going to be fantastic. We were chatting a little bit before, and, you know, I always get excited, but I'm really excited about this one because it's validation. And you are the quintessential success story, right? You're just doing everything right. You're not looking for that secret hidden thing, whatever that thing is, right? And I believe it was a Cheshire cat that said, if you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there, right? And I see agents out there always chasing the shiny object of the new website. And we're going to spend the next 45 minutes or so talking about how you, and everybody listen up to what I'm about to say. Renee and her team is in Columbus, Nebraska. Y'all ever hear of Columbus? Give me some hearts and likes if you've heard of Columbus, Nebraska, and I don't expect many because I've heard of Columbus, Ohio. The population, what is the population there, Renee?
It's actually about 27,000.
27,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
27,000. So not a lot of people. What's the closest metropolis or big town?
Omaha, Nebraska, which is not even the capital. But Omaha's about 65 miles away.
Okay. So you're pretty much selling in Columbus or Columbus proper. Yeah. You're not really, it's not feasible to drive to Omaha.
No, we have many small markets around us, and we have a few agents in our office that work those small markets, but that's not it. So you get a couple sales from those, but that's not much.
And you or your team are on track to close close to how many transactions? 500, y'all. Yes. 500. I think the best year I ever had with my team was like 112, but we're doing REO. So, I mean, they were just falling into our lap. You're doing it the old fashioned hard way, going out there. And talk to me. How are you doing it? What is the secret? You've been doing this for a while, a little bit longer than me. I've been doing it for 18 years. You've been doing it for how long?
I was a solo agent for 20 years. Actually, this team has only been in place for about 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So got licensed back in 2000 and was a solo agent for many years. And there was no secret to my success. It was just called busting your butt, honestly. So networked very thoroughly. And, like I said, when we talked earlier, just a lot of yeses, was very involved in anything that anybody asked me in the community, had my name and face out there. And that's what started it. And to be honest with you, I didn't even get into real estate as far as wanting to be in the sales aspect of it. I was an investor first and foremost. So I started buying properties. My first property, I bought a duplex and rented out the other half so I wouldn't have a payment. And that's kind of what got me started on it. That was back in the days where FHA was really popular and the rates were 9%. And I thought it was still pretty awesome. So anyway, I started out as an investor and really was I was my best client. So for many years, that's the way that it was. I invested in everything and did some flips and still have about 20 of those rentals from way back when. But over the years, that just transpired into the sales and being successful with the sales. And so started it, like I said, again, from an investor standpoint, which is opposite from what most people do. They get into it for the sales and then start investing. And up until about 2 years ago, again, I was a solo agent and running about 150 deals on my own and had one.
Did you say 150 on your own?
150, yeah.
Transaction coordinator, anything?
No, had one admin that helped me process those files. That was it.
Do you all hear that?
Yeah.
150.
It was also a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hours,
for sure.
It was easy, but so.
I know the pain that comes with it.
Yes, exactly. So I had people approach me over the years about wanting to know what the secret was, wanting to work with me, wanting to, you should start your own company. And, I was never interested in that, but finally got to a point where I didn't have much of a choice. And so I did that about 2 years ago. So we went from boutique brokerage to Berkshire Hathaway as a brand, which has been great. It's been a good transition. And we have brought on since then about 12 agents.
Okay.
So there wasn't very many when we started, 12 agents and several more admin and a lot more processes in place that simplify all of the deals. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I know we were talking about I mean, first of all, again, I just want to say this. Population of 27,000. My population in my town, in the town I live in, I believe it's 23,000. A lot of kids. Next town over is like 100,000, whatever like that.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody doing those numbers. Those are great numbers. Hats off to you. But we were talking before we went live about one of the secrets, and it's something that I'm so excited to talk about. Matter of fact, the minutes are about to tick away. You truly believe in hyperlocal and being part of the community. And y'all, that involves more than sitting on your couch, hiding behind Facebook and Instagram. It also includes meeting people, going out to chambers, going out to Rotary. How can you help other people accomplish whatever it is? And it might just be as simple as pulling off an event for a night, but you're a part of it. You're a part there to help, and people remember that. How important is being involved in your community been to you and your business?
It's very important. I would say it's got to be near the top of the list of things that you need to do to be successful, especially in a community like this. Yeah, everything is hyper local. So those individuals who are out there, the largest employers, the city officials, they need to know who you are, who your name is, what your name is. Yeah. And you need to be first on their call list, when they need something or have a question on, expansion or anything. I mean, again, we've not just preached this, but we do it, we practice it, so I've been involved in investing in the community. We have a nice commercial building that we built for not just our business, but for other businesses to go into it as well, which created commercial development all around us. We've done residential development. So city officials take us pretty serious if we have a question or concern, or, when they want to call and get our opinion. And so it's very important. But I mean, again, we invest in not just preach it, but we practice it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're watching this, guys, if you're watching this live, put an L in the comments. If you're watching the replay, put an R, and give us a couple of hearts and likes if you like the content that we're talking about right now, because to me, this is it. Y'all want the secret bullet. Y'all want the magic website. Y'all want the magic whatever. We're talking about it. It is this. It don't exist. Whatever it is that you think that it is, it's really opposite. Yeah, you can get a bunch of leads one way or another way, but you got to, the whole reason we do everything online and phone calls and all this other stuff and pay for leads is so we can get offline with somebody. I've preached this a million times, Renee. We are traditionally a business to consumer, business, buyer, seller, consumer industry. Mm-hmm. Something tells me that you understand that when you make it B2B, business to business, that you actually can reach more people. You actually start to network with other businesses and business owners. Do you do a fair amount of that, being involved in the community?
Most definitely. We are in touch constantly with the largest employers, with all the employers really, but the larger ones will call us from the HR departments and ask questions about, again, what do we need to attract these employees to this community? And can you sell the community? We're having a hard time with this person or his or her spouse not wanting to be here because there's a lack of, let's say, quality of life things that, we don't have a ton of, big events that come here, or venues or anything like that. How do we sell Columbus? And so we've come up with ways to do that and volunteer at those events and fundraise to get more things. Like we just had an ice skating rink that was built. I was spearheaded that whole group to try to get some funding in for that and get people back behind us so that we can tell people to come here. Hey, we have an ice skating rink, check this out. And so most definitely that's very important.
You just hit on so many awesome things. And I just want to tell everybody this one thing. You mentioned this odd term. I don't think many of us in real estate really understand HR department. Now, they're the ones who hire and fire and everything else like that. When I was banging this stuff hard, I did a lot of relocation for the Children's or the Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center. The big one is up in Hanover, New Hampshire, which is about an hour north. That's where Dartmouth is. They're in Hanover. And then down here, about an hour and 10 minutes south, we had Mary Hitchcock or the Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center, which is whatever. It's a medical center. And as a result, they're tied to Children's Hospital Dartmouth too. And so I had a doctor reach out to me. I had a really killer website. We got into talking. He told me he's relocating. And when the person, Amy, asked him, do you need an agent to show you around? He goes, no, I got it all set up with this guy. Well, he liked me so much and everything that I brought to the table that Amy called me. She was the director of HR for physician services. And she calls me and she's like, hey, listen, so-and-so spoke very highly of you. Would you want to do this kind of activity for other docs relocating to the area? I said, sure. Now, come to find out, at this point in time, Amy was only in charge of orthopedics and maybe like endocrinology. There was about 8 other Amy's.
Right. You got it. You got it.
So what did I start to do? I started to, get into those 8 other Amy's, and I put a program together where we would donate money to Children's Hospital of Dartmouth, and we raised like $25,000 one year.
Yes,
right?
That's exactly right.
Because the secret thing about doctors, especially surgeons, they buy big houses.
Yeah.
Right? They buy big houses. So I then took that to the next level, and I would have a wine tasting dinner once per year. And I mean, this thing cost me like $6-7 grand to put on. It was no joke. Yeah. But it was at the only 5-star restaurant in the area with a sommelier, and it was to die for. And they could bring some of their staff with them and everything else like that. It was always 7,500 people. Yep. And it was just a great event, but it allowed me to get deeper and deeper and deeper. Next thing you know, I'm taking some of them deep sea fishing on a private chartered boat. And I tell you, they might be physicians. They're normal people too.
That's right.
Yeah? Oh, you mean to tell me I can have a beer at 9 o'clock in the morning because I'm out on a boat and a cigar? Yeah, why not? Yeah. Let's eat some fried food after too. Yeah. So it's really important that being connected to the community piece, being conscious. A lot of people, I believe, are just looking for the sale.
That's right.
And they get the sale and it's done. Mm-hmm. Nick posted something twice, once about a month and a half ago, once maybe 6 months ago. No money, venture capital money, has been invested in after the sale.
That's right.
Yeah. No, nobody's putting any money there. But that's where your money is, y'all.
That's right.
Here's an interesting statistic. Year after year, it's pretty close to the same thing. And it's one of the things that NAR does beautifully is the information package that they put out. On average, 51% of buyers chose their agent because it was a referral. They knew them. They were a neighbor. Somehow they knew the name.
That's right.
Okay. Or were given the name. And it's even higher for sellers. Last I checked, it was like 63%.
Yep. That's right.
So y'all fighting over 11% for the internet. Do you hear what I just said? Do you hear what Renee is saying? The business is coming from the relationships within the community.
Right. Agreed.
Let me ask you, do you have a community page, a community group, anything like that?
All of the above.
Okay.
Yep. And we post to those on a regular basis. But again, it's more by being involved. But yes, we have a community page. And so we actually have a gal we pay her to do all of our social media and keep track of the events in the community because it's very difficult to keep track of them. But she'll post information about all of them pretty much on a daily basis. There are new businesses coming to town, and we'll go welcome those new businesses. And so, we're out there, like I said, just beating the pavement on a regular basis. But
so you are the Chamber of Commerce. You're your own little Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
And I think we need to be that way.
Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, I'm going to let everybody know a little secret. It's the core of my training, just so you know. Y'all own a business.
Right.
Y'all own a business. Start acting like you own a damn business and stop being just a salesperson trying to get the sale.
Right. And we should be experts on the community, honestly.
Absolutely. We should be.
Yeah.
We should be. I love talking with people like you because you get it, right? And no matter where across the country, there's people like you that get it. What about video? Do you do any kind of video in the community? Do you do any kind of video showcases for businesses or the new business that's coming? Do you do any kind of spotlight like that?
We do. Yeah, most definitely. Those are done on a regular basis as well. So we do tons of video. The agents in our office, I'm probably not as good as what they are about it, but we'll get them out there in these videos and introduce the new business owners and talk about what they have to offer and go to what's called a ribbon cutting. Where the chamber members, which I'm actually one of, unbelievably, will go and welcome them to the community and have a sort of a happy hour and get to know them a little bit better. And we'll keep them front of mind, with regard to doing anything and everything. And I try, even if it's more expensive, to keep it in the community, keep it local, so that they remember that as well.
That's awesome. That is everything. We just said it all. Might not have heard it. We went a little fast, but now we're going to break some of this stuff down. You've heard it from other people that we've interviewed in the past, how they are running $30, $40 million a year businesses because of community pages, because of community groups, because of community involvement. Yes, it requires getting out of the house or getting out of the office and actually going to do something uncomfortable. And it is uncomfortable at first. And even maybe 5, 10, 15 years down the road, you still might encounter resistance. However, getting out to meet that person, getting out there to meet a group of people. And heck, Renee, this was my philosophy for years. Do you have a power circle or an inner circle or allied forces, anything like that? Mortgage person, financial advisor, attorney, insurance person. We would go to a room. If you're uncomfortable, we would go to one of these events. Yep. This one would go left, right, up, middle, up to center. We all knew 1 or 2 people there. Yep. Maybe we knew 10, maybe we knew 8 of the same, but we always knew somebody that we could introduce or be introduced to.
That's right.
My goal, I always had a shirt, like, I'm in New England, man. It's cold up here. So if it's from maybe September to April, I probably had something like this on. I have a little zipper here, and I put their card right in there, and I had mine in my pocket here, right? If I collected just five people's information, I could then send out 5 handwritten note cards and say, Renee, it was great meeting you at the chamber event last night. I'd love to grab a cup of coffee, see how we can help each other.
Yep.
Here's my card.
Always send a follow-up email or text or something. Yeah.
Right? And then all of a sudden, I would say 4 out of 5 times I was sitting down having coffee with somebody, and that helped grow my business. That helped grow their business, because now all of a sudden somebody would say, hey, do you know anybody that specialize in murals? You know what? I met somebody that did the mural over at the BVI. Let me give you the name. Oh, I know a great plumber. You're able to be that person, that information booth. Mm-hmm. What about customer appreciation events, anything like that? What do you do for your clients or the community? How do you do that?
So twice a year we have a client appreciation, and the agents in the office do their own as well if they'd like to, but we do a huge community or a huge company-wide appreciation for our clients. And so this time of year, they're all getting postcards in the mail that tell them, come down, come have some treats, we package a free pie for each one of them, which I've seen a lot of other companies do as well. And we give them each a gift certificate that goes to a company that sells bagels and coffee that's actually in our building. And so they can get a gift card to that business. And then we also do a drawing for one of them to take a trip. So that's been big the last 2 years, where we're able to have those clients, just one of them gets to go somewhere on us. So we give them a voucher basically for travel. So
that's fantastic.
And the rest of the time, we're, after the closing, it's not just, hey, thanks for the paycheck and, enjoy your house. We stay in touch with them on a very regular basis, and they get a nice thank you gift, a package of some food and wine and cards from us. And, we're ever present even after the closing. So, and I know I've had several of them say that they appreciated that and loved us even asking, hey, how is the house? How's everything going? Is there anything we can help you with now, a week later, 2 weeks later? So, yeah. And that continues on. So the admin that we have actually continues that for 10 years. So we continue to send them postcards and thank you cards, and we have rave reviews from them for that service. So it's kind of a concierge service in a way.
Do you use any kind of special service for the postcards and the newsletters and all that other stuff, or how are you doing that manually? How are you doing that?
I have actually used viral marketing a couple of times for the postcards that we'll send out. We have another company, and I couldn't tell you exactly what they are without having their name right in front of me, but they're pretty good to use. And I should have probably had that before we got on this call, but
no, it's okay. You're not supposed to know your assistant is.
That's exactly right. So yeah, and they're awesome about sending those out on a pretty regular basis after the closing. So they're all input into that system, and they get the same treatment. So
yeah, that's all. And I think that's so important. And when I was running real estate full time, it was right on our checklist. It was like the last 3 things: change the tag in the CRM, add them to the follow-up, and prepare then it was called a HUD. We'd always get their HUD already ready to go out, put in a box. So at the end of the year, we just had to put stamps on them, and out the door they went.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And I always said, I want to see 50 envelopes in there. Plenty more room. Let's go. Let's go.
That's right. Yeah. The other thing we have is we have title in our building as well. And so we make sure that those clients have us, as their last memory. We're there at the closing, but it's also in our building. And so that's been a pretty nice service to have as well.
So you're giving a fantastic service throughout the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a good follow-up system. But what starts it all is that you're there in the community. So now you're out there in the community, you worked with somebody, maybe somebody new you didn't know, and then you see them out there in the community. They're happy to see you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh boy, go down aisle 12, sweetheart, because I don't want to see that crook over there, right? I'm going to tell you something. I was guilty of getting so busy one time and letting my foot off the gas a little bit, but I was getting a divorce at the same time, so that's going to be my excuse. And I saw a girl in Big Lots or Dollar Store or whatever, right across the street from my office. I was picking up Christmas cards. How I forgot this girl, I'll never know. She goes, John, hey, how are you? And she was pushing a carriage. And sometimes when you get caught off guard, it's like, oh boy, I'm not supposed to be thinking right now. I said, hey, how are you? Is that mine? And she starts laughing. She goes, no, silly. I said, how's the house? It was one of the two. Okay.
Right.
I'm like, how's the house? She goes, oh, it's fantastic. And then she said her husband's name, that he's working so much or whatever like that. And it dawned on me right then. I'm like, wow, your water broke at the table. How did I forget you? Right. But I was getting, a lot of things were going on and I hadn't stayed in touch with them. And it was like maybe 6, 8, 9 months later.
Yes.
And I was just like completely taken off. I was like, oh boy. And I realized it right then. Wow, I've slipped.
Yep.
I've slipped. It's a lot of work.
Several moments like that in the last probably 90 days, to be honest with you. So This has grown faster than I thought that it would, honestly. And I'm thankful for that. But there's also been some hiccups along the way. And that is one thing that I have realized is that, yes, my customer relationships are not as strong as what they were before. I'm not doing the follow-ups the way that I was. I've got a stack of thank you cards, and I usually do personalized cards, and I sit down at the end of every week and do, like 50 of these things, and they're still sitting here in stacks on my desk. So we all have failures. It's just admitting those and realizing where your shortcomings are and taking care of them. So
yeah, putting the stop gaps in place so it don't happen again. So you just mentioned no cards, stack of no cards. How many? If let's just say I'm a brand new agent, I'm coming to work for you in Columbus, Nebraska, which is 65 miles away from Omaha, 27,000 people. What are you going to tell me? How many videos should I be focusing on? How many note cards should I be focusing on? What can I do? I mean, you're already at the chamber. I don't want to come step on your feet. Is there something else I can go do? How can I get involved? How can I like start my own networking circles, right? And man, with the Meetup app, it makes it easy. With Facebook, it makes it easy.
That's right.
But if I was a brand new agent coming to work for you at Berkshire Hathaway, what would you tell me to do?
Well, first of all, my goal is, and has been for the last year, to step out of production and not doing 150 deals the way that I have been for many, many years. And the agents in my office, you can ask them that. The last thing that I want to do is be competition for them. I want to lead them. And there's more than enough to go around. I think you have to change your mindset, and definitely is more than enough to go around in this community. So I would say start some masterminds. I know there's some things that we're lacking in this community. Start some masterminds for those who are looking at investing, or the new first-time buyers. We have classes out there that our lenders are teaching, and the agents should be in there teaching these courses. Get involved with those types of things, get in front of the right people. But the first thing you need to do is know what your target is. Who are you wanting to target, so that you're not just going willy-nilly and going into everything. Know who your clientele should be or who you want it to be, so that you have those goals and write them down. And you plug into the systems and the coaching that we have, and we have weekly accountability with our agents and quarterly meetings with the agents. We're going to, have your goals written down and then help you achieve those goals.
Yep, absolutely. Y'all give us some hearts and likes if you agree with that, man. That is a great start. Let me just, it's so easy to get involved in the community. My accountant, who isn't from this area, my mortgage friend, who isn't from this area, me, who isn't from my area, have all become uber successful. Imagine you're parachuted into the middle of no place, USA, and you got to start a business. What are you going to do? First of all, you can hit everybody online with a community group or a community page. They each have their own nuances, right? Groups are for more collaborating, pages for, well, you can do marketing with it. Make it a community page. When you do these workshops, one of my favorite used to be wills and trusts, how to protect yourself, right? And that's why I had an attorney in my power circle. He was an estate attorney. Then the financial advisor got to talk to. The mortgage guy got to talk, and I got to just be there and smile and make sure everybody had their coffee and donut. And get to talk at the end. If you're interested in, multifamilies, come see me. But there's a lot about wills and trust and protecting it against Medicaid that people didn't understand, but we always brought in a crowd. Now, we'd do that in the basement of a bank. They're excited because they were getting traction through their bank, the mortgage persons. Yep. It's real easy to do it online. You're making me do it, Renee. You're making me do this. Hold on one second. I was trying not to use this piece of paper, but it just got real. The most important piece of advice, can we see the whole thing over there? Because I don't see my whole monitor. Can you see my hand right here?
Yep.
Okay. So I teach this thing called the lead generation quadrant. And everybody, I think, should follow this. It's one of my most brilliant pieces that I've ever come up with, but I didn't really come up with it because it's always been in existence. I just put it into a quadrant. Mm-hmm. All business comes from one of four unique places, some form of phone call. That could be your past clients or your networking schema or whatever like that, expireds, FSBOs, some form of networking. Again, since you're networking with your past clients in your sphere, in your community, you should be getting business there. Online, and online can be anything from paid portal leads to on Facebook and whatever or Instagram or whatever your strategy is. And then traditional stuff, which is like door knock and just listed, just sold postcards. It's about where it all comes from, right? Some form of call, some form of networking, some form of online, some form of traditional activity. So you're talking about being involved in the community. That's networking. But you always, this is my favorite combination, but you're also talking about being omnipresent online and not even omnipresent, omni-local, right? It's all about the community. Where I think a lot of agents miss it is that they put it in people's face all the time online. I'm an agent.
Right. Agreed.
Right. My friend Ryan Foland, who created the 313 method of communication, says you don't ever want to tell anybody what you do because they'll instantly put up a guard. When you say I'm a realtor, what's the canned response? How's the market? Right. Exactly. It's a can. You don't want to get into that part of conversation. But if you're networking, if you're online, it's going to lead to some form of phone call as well. In your traditional activity, you can whatever you want it to be. I would say it's 5 handwritten postcards every single day.
Yep. Yep,
that's the power of what you just said is you're online and you're present online because people can only be one of two places. They're either online or they're in the community somewhere.
That's right. I agree.
Right.
And I think you also, you can't just be involved in the community. You have to be invested. I have several agents who they rent a house or, I just feel like you have to believe in what you're selling. And we go out there and actually put our money and time where our mouth is. I'm saying, we've not only invested in the community to help develop it, grow, with residential areas, but now, like I said, this commercial development that we have as well. So I'm pretty proud of that fact.
You don't need to just be involved in the community. I think there's a comma there. You need to be invested. Man, I'll tell you what, that is extremely profound. That is extremely profound. And I'm glad you said that because there is a distinct difference between just showing up and having a vested interest, right? You live there. Your kids most likely are going to grow up there. Might as well make it the reality that you want. Right? Help bring business in if downtown's thriving. I'll tell you what, Zig Ziglar said, if you can help enough people get what they want, you in turn will get what you want. Right?
That's right.
And if you can help enough, here's the thing. Each person knows 50, 100 people. Each business knows 1,500.
Mhm.
right? So if you can put a little B2B, a little community outreach into your business and have that into your structure, into your day, you're going to have great results.
Yeah.
If I'm a brand new rookie, give me 3 things somebody can do right now, brand new in the business, because there's a lot of people out there struggling right now. We're coming into the holidays. Depends on where you are in the country, if it's busy or not.
Mhm.
You know, people have reverse seasonality like Florida and probably Arizona, Texas maybe. But what's something somebody can do right now? Brand new or somebody that's hit a plateau? 1, 2, 3 tips.
Well, I tell all my agents, even in slow times, you know, there are so many resources out there, and most of them are free. Read a book, listen to podcasts, you know, get that education in there, because that's going to be key. And I would say go shadow some of the agents who have had that success. I mean, there's no need to reinvent the wheel, because there's so many people that have done it before you. So go out there and look at what they're doing. And I think I named a couple of them earlier as well. You know, there are definitely things that are still needed, even in smaller communities. So start some sort of mastermind group, go teach these classes, get your face out there, you know, and not in the form of, like we talked about, you know, hey, just hanging a sign on your neck that says I'm a realtor. You know, get involved in those community activities and volunteer. Doesn't necessarily take money. I mean, just volunteer your time. And especially during those slow times, I mean, that's the best time to do it. But I'm constantly plugged into some kind of podcast or book or something like that. And I've been doing this for 20 years. So,
And I said the same thing a week or two ago in coach, and I'm like, listen, if you're not constantly having a podcast going, they're free. And they're everything from Neville Goddard and Napoleon Hill and Think and Go Rich to TD Jakes to Tristan has one, Nick has one, I have one, Travis Tom has one, right? All these people getting to Yes Guy, Hal, everybody's got one. There's an infinite amount. It doesn't matter what you're into. Always be expanding the tinker, right?
that's right, exactly.
And I love to hear it. I just love to hear it. It's really not that hard, guys, to go out there. It takes time. It takes time. A secret, though, that I want you all to understand that was taught to me like 17 years ago. If you do this in the community for the money, you will never get it.
That's exactly right.
You
Completely.
have to go in there pure from the heart and wanting to give,
That's
right? You want to come in there pure in the heart, wanting to give, because they will all smell you out as a fraud.
That's exactly right.
And here's the thing, you can live the perfect life by giving others or giving to others. That to me is the meaning of life. You can help other people achieve what they want without expectation of anything in return. Like love. Love is what you give out, not what you receive, what you give out. Okay. The goal is to find somebody that gives out as equally as you do, and you connect on that level. But it's what you give out. Okay. Give out with pure heart and pure intentions, and people are going to see that integrity in you and want to do business with you.
Yeah.
Here's something else with the Chamber of Commerce. Y'all should belong to the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce, most of them have leadership councils. If you can get on the leadership council and you have to commit to like going away for a weekend or overnight or whatever like that, you're bonding with other leaders of the community. You know who other leaders of the community hang out with? Other leaders of the community.
Yep. That's exactly right.
It's that simple.
Yep.
Have a community page, have a community group, get some engagement, get some involvement. Think of your strategy. What is the story? I love restaurants. Everybody loves restaurants.
Right.
We live for a few things. We live to eat and sleep.
Yep.
Right? And what can we binge watch on Netflix? So why not in your community be known as that guy that's going to give the restaurant reviews?
Right. That's right.
Right? Maybe not even a review, a showcase.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to love you. Now you can tag them on their page and everything else like that. Now all of a sudden you can put that on Instagram with a local hashtag. You can put that on their page. You can put that on your community page. You can put that on a YouTube page. You can put it on Instagram TV if it's long enough.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, the people that own that restaurant, you're going to walk in there like John Gotti.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And you touched on this a little bit earlier, but one of the things that I firmly believe is that you have the power to change everything around you. You know, if your mindset is in the correct place and, you know, you're just out there taking action instead of sitting on the couch, like you just said too, you know, I mean, for me, I didn't really want to move back to a small community. So I moved away. I went to college and swore I was never coming back. And my life brought me back here. It was the best thing that ever happened. But I vowed when I got back, you know, I was not going to bitch about everything around me and how awful it is and small community, nothing to do, all that same stuff. So I went out there and just took action and made things happen and helped developments, spur on and encourage people and showed them what there is to offer here. And so I'm proud of that fact. It's grown by leaps and bounds over the last 10 years, especially. So
everybody, you can invest one of two things. You can invest time or you can invest money. Okay. Money, all it does is shorten the amount of time. But what really is sustainable is the investment that you make in your time, because the relationships that you build. Listen, some of the best referral partners that I've had, I'm talking about 12, 15 homes. Never sold a home to. Never sold them their home. Never. We may have bought a few together and flipped them, but I never sold them their home.
Yep.
Okay. And I never got mad that they didn't use me. But they've referred me 12 things.
Yep.
This other one referred me 15 things. How can I get mad? All right. How can I get mad? I'm probably more thankful that maybe if we worked together, the relationship could have get damaged and I wouldn't get any more referrals.
Yep.
Right. So I look at it as a thing. You can invest time or money. Renee has invested her time into building up and investing into the community. And look at what it's given back. You have to do it from the heart. Any final words? We're getting to that 42-minute mark. Any final words, anything that we didn't touch on that you might want to touch on? Any special stuff? Does the secret website exist?
There's no secret sauce. Again, like I said in the beginning, it's called hard work. And honestly, I firmly believe, that old adage, if you build it, they will come. I honestly think if you build the right company and you have the right mindset and the right tools in place, that those people are going to want to come. They're going to see, they're going to be drawn to you because that's what they want, And so, I mean, that's honestly what we've done. And again, we've grown by leaps and bounds over the last just 2 years. So we're a pretty young company, a young team. And we've added on 12 agents in that time and admin and numbers. I mean, our sales have gone from 200 to 500. So that's pretty amazing to me in that short amount of time.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Well, my hat's off to you. We're at our time here. Renee, how does one find you if they so want to find you? And I sent you a friend request, so you better accept it.
You did. I better get on there and check it out. So I'm on all social media platforms. So just Renee Mueller on Facebook. Instagram is Renee Mueller Real Estate. And LinkedIn, just pull up my name anywhere. So I'll give you my phone number, my email address, whatever you want. So you can get on and check out our company anytime. And we're at columbuspremierrealestate.com is our website. So I'm happy to friend request you, and I'm happy that you did this interview and took the time to chat with me. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And everybody, if you have any questions, just put them into the live stream and we'll get them answered or whatnot. And I appreciate you all taking the time. And I really do hope that everybody listen to this 2 or 3 times, because this is the key. You want the key? You want the secret sauce? This is it. This is it. Being involved in your community. Anyways, on behalf of Lab Coat Agents and Renee, thank you for joining. Y'all take care.
Thanks, John.
Bye. All right.